Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. So we're going to have a look at the weather for next week's 10 days for today's second video. This takes us into the second week of March. So we've got the severely cold weather at the moment. We've got weather warnings galore at the UK Met Office. A very rare red warning has been issued for the central belt of Scotland. So that's kind of like emergency levels. Take emergency action if you are in that area. I'll talk you through that in a moment. We'll go to the severe weather warnings page at the UK Met Office. That's in force from now through to tomorrow morning. And there's more weather warnings, weather alerts for many parts of the country as well for snow and very cold temperatures. And the big freeze has got a little bit longer to run. It's going to run through to the end of the week, but over the weekend, we cover this in the 5-day forecast, we should gradually start to pull out of this freezing cold weather. It's going to take a long time to warm things up in the north, though. I have to emphasise that even by Monday it could still be pretty cold across the north and east of Scotland, but very gradually over the weekend and into next week we should start to pull out of this freezing weather. It's at the end of it, though. We'll have a look and see what models are suggesting for the second week of March in a moment. Just going to start off with some more of your weather picks. So remember, if you want to take any pictures of the snow or the cold weather, then you please do so safely, and you can send them to us. There's a few ways of doing it. You can post them to our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter. You can also post them in the comment box at Gaz Weathervision. You have to sign up for a Discuss account to be able to do that, but once you're signed up to Discuss, you can post your pictures to the comment box at Gaz Weathervision. And also you can email them to gazlovis@gmail.com. The first picture we started with here from Oliver in Appleton in Warrington. This was emailed to me, I think it was emailed yesterday actually. So this is from yesterday in Warrington, very snowy looking scene there. This one I saw on Twitter. This one again is from my friend Adam Billard, and Adam is in Norfolk. Again, very snowy morning there over in Norfolk. This one is from Steve W in East Suffolk. Again, really wintry looking scene there. I think it's about 30 years since Steve has seen it looking like that in eastern parts of Suffolk. This is from Matthew James. I'm not sure where Matthew is, but apparently there was a burst pipe that delivered this sort of ice type sculpture. It looks quite spectacular there. And then to the comment box at Gaz Weathervision, this is from Sean in Dublin. They've had some snow over in Ireland, and I think you just about make out the word Gav posted there in the snow. So this one is, let's carry on through. So this one is from Richard in Redcar, and again some pretty deep looking snow in Redcar. This is also from Richard in Redcar, very bleak looking church scene there. And then we've got this one, which is from Brendan, or actually it's from Brendan's friends. Brendan himself is in Finland, but this is from Brendan's friends in Norfolk. And again, this one is Andy's dog in Staffordshire playing in the snow. Very snowy looking scene up there in the Staffordshire moorland. So big thank you to everybody for sending their pics through. And remember, you can email them to gazoffice@gmail.com. You can post them in the comment box, Gazoffice, or share them on our social media pages. And when we have time, we will include some of those pictures in the videos. So many pictures coming through at the moment, can't include all of them, so sorry if your picture hasn't been included yet, but we'll try and pick out a few for the weather vids in the next few days. So visit the severe weather warnings page for the United Kingdom from the UK Met Office. There's the evidence just there that we have got this very rare red warning issued for today and also for tomorrow as well. I'm going to leave the link to the UK Met Office severe weather warnings page in the description box at YouTube, and we do link to it from the homepage at Gaz Weathervids as well, because that's always the place to go for weather warnings, weather advice about your safety. If you need to know about being safe in the weather, if you are worried about your safety in the weather, then the weather warnings from the UK Met Office will always be the place to go and to look at the advice that you are being given. So I'll leave a link to that in the description box at YouTube, and also we link to it from the homepage of Gaz Weathervids. Bit of detail on that just there. So the UK Met is saying heavy snow showers and drifting of lying snow in the strong easterly winds will become more widespread across the area, which is the central belt of Scotland. Later on Wednesday afternoon, through the evening and overnight into Thursday, roads will become blocked by deep snow with many stranded vehicles and passengers. Long delays and cancellations to bus, rail and air travel are expected. Some communities could become cut off for several days. Long interruptions to power supplies and other services are expected. If we scroll down, you can see the map of the UK, and that is the area where we have gone red just there through the southern, through the central belt of Scotland, through south of Scotland, really. So severe weather on the way there. If you're in that area, then only travel if you absolutely have to. Basically stay indoors and just try to weather it out, but it's going to be pretty rough there in the next few hours. Widely, we've got an amber warning across much of the north and the east of Britain. Yellow warnings have extended to Northern Ireland, so some snow showers are definitely coming through there. At the moment, it's quieter across Wales and southern southwestern parts of England, but things may well start kicking off there through the course of tomorrow. We deal with that in the 5-day forecast, and of course I'll be doing Snow Watch this evening between 7 and 8 o'clock just to bring you up to date. By the way, there'll be a live chat with myself and Quantum tomorrow evening starting at 6 o'clock for an hour. We'll talk about this snow situation down in the southwestern part of the country. So we'll be live on Quantum's YouTube channel, which I'll link to tomorrow when I have the link to the video, and also will be on Gaz Weathervids. It'll be interactive as well on our social media pages. Right, this is the latest radar picture from the Weather Outlook, and you can see we've got lots of heavy snow showers spreading in across the Midlands at the moment. So the Midlands haven't had much snow from this over the past couple of days, but quite a few snow showers have pushed through from East Anglia into the Midlands and also into Wales as well. There's some really beefy showers in there. We've had a few over lunch here in Northamptonshire, and it's deposited around 2 centimetres of snow. To the south of the M4, it's mostly dry until we run into this snow stream that's actually down along the south coast and into the southwest. Also snow showers across Northern Ireland, but the really intense area of snow is this area just here. And this is where we've got our red warning from the UK Met Office for that sort of area just there, and it also extends down into the northeast of England as well. You can see that the showers are merging into a longer spell of snow, and this longer spell of snow is just going to keep coming and coming through the course of this afternoon and into this evening. If I add on the precipitation type, you can see it's basically all snow, although there are some areas that look like it's raining. It's not all of that that's coming out of the sky today is snow. The reason is that the dew points for the whole of the country are below freezing, and the coldest dew points are actually down in the south, where we've gone down to minus double digits with the dew point. That is exceptionally cold air for so late in the season. Have a look at the temperatures. They are widely at or below freezing across most parts of the country today. Bear in mind, this is 2:30 in the afternoon, and quite a few places are at -3, -4 degrees. That is exceptionally cold day for what is the final day of meteorological winter. Quite amazing. Let's just see if there's any lightning flashing away. So we have got one lightning flash there across eastern parts of Scotland. Don't be surprised if you see flashes of lightning, hear rumbles of thunder in this very snowy area across southern Scotland and down into northern England. Also, these showers in eastern Scotland may have lightning and thunder with them. And there could be some lightning in some of these showers pushing through the Midlands in towards Wales as well. So it's a really snowy, wintry, severely cold and bitingly nasty day, afternoon. And it's going to get very cold tonight. Temperatures will go down to -10 or lower in some places with a strong easterly wind. There'll be a severe wind chill tonight. So it's all getting more serious, actually, as we're going on with this. As we anticipated it would, we said Wednesday and Thursday would be the peak of the beast from the east, and that is exactly how things are working out. Right, so let's see what's going to happen in the next week to 10 days. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles, starting with London at a very low level today, and this has got a little bit longer to run at -15 Celsius, 815 HPA. It could be quite a long way. It might be a few years before we see the temperature going down to that sort of level in London again. So this is a pretty rare sort of event that's taken place this week. From tomorrow onwards through to the end of the week, the temperatures are lifting back up. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average. But remember, as we're lifting up, we're bringing bands of weather into that cold air, which is going to produce snow as we get a clash between the cold and the less cold air. By the weekend, we're up at this sort of level, so it's going less cold to milder perhaps by the start of next week. But you'll notice further into next week, we are seeing signs that the temperatures are dropping. Again, not going down to the sort of severe level that we've got at the moment by any means, but probably after a milder or less cold start to next week, it might begin to get a little bit cold again. Nothing definitively mild coming up until perhaps right at the very end of the ensemble, which is kind of like the middle of March. Maybe just signs, hints perhaps, that spring might start to get underway in the middle of March. That's a very, very long way off, and don't take that literally. So these are the surface temperatures for London, starting at a very cold sub-zero level. That's freezing just there. That's -10 down there, and that's +10 up there. So we're below freezing day and night for the next 2 or 3 days. And then over the weekend into next week, the temperature begins to pick up. Then it levels off, and we're leveling off at around sort of 5 to 8 degrees, something like that. So there's nothing to get excited about. It's not until perhaps right at the very end that there's a little bit of a warming trend taking us up towards 10 degrees plus. So that might be, for mid-March, it might be the beginnings of spring. But it's right at the end of the ensemble. Can't be taken seriously at all, really. It's just little hints, I suppose, that perhaps spring might begin to emerge once we get through to the middle part of March. Temperature anomalies look like that's still firmly locked in the freezer for the next week. This is from the 28th of February to the 8th of March, and it looks very cold, not just for the UK and Ireland, but for most parts of Europe. You'll notice it's turning a little bit less cold for France, Spain and Portugal, so starting to warm up a bit there, but really much of Europe is coming out very cold in the week ahead. Precipitation anomalies are looking like this. For the UK, it's a little bit drier than average to the northwest and a bit wetter than average in the south and the southeast. Looking very wet down across Spain and Portugal, quite interesting. If you was planning to get away from the cold weather and have a break, in Spain. It looks pretty unsettled there. You're going to have to take your brolly with you. I would have thought a lot of rain to come down there in the week ahead. Of course, they're always pleased to get wet weather in Spain at this time of the year, because it won't be long now before it starts turning dry and very warm, and eventually in a couple of months' time it'll be really hot down there. So they always welcome any rain when they can get it. Right, this is the GFS then for Sunday, and we're bringing some slightly less cold air up from the south, although the north is still in that bitterly cold easterly wind even to Sunday. Into Monday, again, low pressure is close to the country, bringing less cold air. I wouldn't necessarily say milder, but it's a little bit less cold, and there's some showers or longer spells of rain. Into the middle part of next week, these low pressures stay close to the country. You'll notice the jet stream is still a very, very long way south of us here. Actually, I can show you where the jet stream is. So the main arm of the jet is still a very long way south down there, going down in sort of North Africa in a very abnormal position, really. And so again, I've been talking about this all week, and the models keep showing that it's going to turn less cold or milder next week. With the jet stream being such a long way away from us, I am a bit sort of sceptical about it still, really. I don't take it seriously, because that's what all the models are showing. But it doesn't really tally in, to be honest, what these models are doing for next week with this less cold weather. It doesn't really tally in with the jet stream being down there. Well, normally when the jet stream's that far away from us, we expect to be very cold. I suppose the only thing that's happening is that the blocking is sort of reducing to our north, which is allowing these areas of low pressure to flabby lows to meander around the north and the west of Europe. But it is a very odd pattern, and I still say that it wouldn't take very much of an adjustment with the position of that jet stream, which is an extremely long way south of us. Just look where the jet stream is. It wouldn't take that much of an adjustment to keep things, or turn things again, really cold next week. And I'll just leave that there, because there's no real evidence for it within any model output data. I'll show you the rest of the models in a moment. So it looks like we're going to turn less cold and milder next week, but the abnormal position of the jet stream is just not working out really with what models are showing, to my mind. But there we go, we've got to go with what models are saying. We go through to Thursday next week, and again we're in this very messy sort of situation with low pressure close to the country. It's not exactly mild, but it is much less cold compared to what I've got this week. However, by day 10, interestingly, this GFS run is trying to raise the heights over Scandinavia again and get the wind in from the east. Not much model support for that at the moment, but it would probably tie in with the overall position of the jet. If I again show you the jet stream by day 10, it's looking like that. Again, a very odd looking jet stream with some of the energy up here, but most of it down there. And that would tie in, I suppose, with the chance of building the heights over Scandinavia again. This is the ECMWF for Monday, so low pressures out to our west, beginning to pull up less cold air from the south. Looks quite unsettled through the early part of next week with this low pressure over the top of the country, bringing showering sort of bursts of rain. And then as we go up towards day 10, we look like that. So it turns unsettled, Ben, becomes very unsettled in the second half of next week. Trying to turn wind into the north perhaps by day 10, but there's certainly no heights rising over Scandinavia. That looks less cold and unsettled next week. And this is the GEM finally. So again, low pressure close to the country through the early part of next week. And then we go up to day 10 looking like that, putting some milder air up from the southwest. The position of the jet stream with this one is a little bit closer to us. So that's the reason we're trying to pull up some milder air from the southwest, because the jet stream is coming back north. It's all looking really complicated through next week with these flabby lows sort of dumbbelling around the UK and western parts of Europe. But it does look as though once we come out of the freezer over the weekend. Remember, it will take a long time to come out of the freezer for Scotland, but once we come out of the freezer, it looks like we lose the coldest of the weather. And whilst you wouldn't necessarily say it's going to be all that mild next week, it should be a lot less uncomfortably cold, let's put it that way. And it'll be mainly rain, I think, next week, as opposed to snow. But just keep that in mind, that the jet stream remains in quite an abnormal position, remains a long way to our south through the course of next week. And so there's just a possibility that it might not be that straightforward in maintaining milder conditions, and something could crop up at fairly short notice to turn us colder again next week, but almost certainly not back to the kind of level of cold and severity of cold that we've got at the moment. Right, don't forget to check out the 5-day forecast. The video is here on the homepage, so just scroll down and you'll find it above the snow desk. There's also a written version. You can get that from buttons at the top of the page. Tonight we've got Snow Watch coming up between 7 and 8 o'clock. It will cover in depth the snow to the north in the next few hours, and then the focus tomorrow will shift down to the southwest. Right, come back for that then. Thanks for watching.